Whether you're about to start a new gaming channel or you've just been grinding away at it for a while, you're in the right place. And that's because advice for gaming channels is outdated and has been for some time. Even points that I've made in the past and felt strongly about are things that I just no longer agree with today. So let's take a step back, and today I'm going to give you some updated advice about a number of different types of gaming channels and what I would do to be successful with each one. Basically the stuff I wish people told me when I first started out, but updated for 2026. First though, let's get some general advice out of the way. And the top comment from last year's video puts this very well. The most important thing a lot of people don't get is that you can play any game you want. You can react to any game, video on YouTube you want. You can play chess, you can do vlogs, cooking, etc. But the most important thing that will keep people going to your channel and staying and connecting with them is your personality. That always should be the main factor. So no matter what you do, react to, play, stream, etc., your personality is always 99% of your success. I couldn't agree more, and that is why the theme of this video is not going to be diving into different metrics and growth hacking your titles or your thumbnails or anything like that. We are going to be focused on basically this. The first thing any successful creator needs on YouTube comes down to passion. Following all the YouTube advice channels in the world will not make up for a lack of passion. And the reason I say passion is because passion is what gives you, in my opinion, your best chance at having a very strong performance in a YouTube video. When you're passionate about something, it will manifest in your content, and people will be able to see it directly when they look at you. If you get this right, then viewers on YouTube aren't going to have to think too hard whether or not they like your content. It's going to come down to your personality. Do they vibe with it or don't they? If they don't, that's fine. You don't need to convince them otherwise. They're going to move on and you're going to keep making videos. Eventually, people will find you who vibe with that personality and they'll subscribe. So if you have that passion already, then this next part of the video is going to be pretty easy for you because there's probably a chapter down below that's going to perfectly describe the type of channel that you are hoping to build. But if you don't have that passion just yet, that's okay too, because you're here to window shop. You get to learn about the different types of successful gaming channels out there and maybe try a few formats for yourself to see what fits as you go forward making your new gaming channel. The first category we're looking at today is actually the one that got me interested in becoming a YouTube creator in the first place. It is the Let's Play. Recently, a video by Game Theory posed a simple question. Are Let's Plays dead? In it, they go over the entire history of how the Let's Play genre actually got started on YouTube. And if this is the kind of thing you're interested in, then I highly recommend you go watch their video. It's very, very good. Anyway, something that Game Theory points out in this video is that around the time that Twitch started to become popular, the term Let's Play started to become less popular. They claim this was actually like a whole pivot to the genre of Let's Play content itself, even showing a Google Trends data comparison of the term Let's Play and live stream, which basically shows that the term Let's Play has been getting really unpopular. In fact, if you're not old like me, maybe you don't use this term at all. Let me know in the comments. In case that's true, let me just explain real quick what a Let's Play is. It is a person recording gameplay content, often with commentary in the background.
That was good. That was good. That was good.
And they are typically reacting to things as they happen in the game in real time. As for my opinion on whether or not this is a dying genre, kind of yes and no. I have a few thoughts here. The standard Let's Play, like as a genre of content, has been around for over a decade and a half, so there have certainly been some innovations, making the type of content that is known as a Let's Play unrecognizable today, and we're going to get to those innovations in a little bit. Also, they're incredibly easy to make. You start up a game, hit record, and just talk. No script, no planning, just your raw reaction to whatever's happening. And anytime something is easy to do on the internet and can make you money, well, your competition rises exponentially, which leads to that innovation I mentioned a second ago. So the way I see it, to keep things simple, we're going to just cover the two routes that you can basically go down if you're somebody who fancies doing live kind of commentary as you play a game. Route number one is live streams. And I mean, they're kind of perfect for scratching this itch, right? They're perfect for you because you just get to hit a button to go live and you just get to talk and play a game. In fact, when you're done doing it, you don't even have to edit anything. And they're perfect for the audience, the types of people who want to come in and just watch somebody play a game and experience it alongside them, while also for them getting to engage in the process along with you. But if it is live streaming that you are thinking of doing for your gaming channel, I would not just stop at simply being live and then not being live. There's other stuff you should be thinking about. Live streams are super competitive. So if you want to grow, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, or anywhere else, you need to adopt some new content formats. You could re-edit your live streams for anybody who didn't actually catch the stream while it was live, or hopefully to bring in a new audience. And what this would allow you to do is cut out all the boring parts and just focus on the coolest parts of the stream. You can then use this and make it an entire new video that lives on your YouTube channel. Personally, I like to take a series of streams that are centered around like a long form challenge and actually cut those into one giant YouTube video. And this has been pretty successful for me. I've been told by my audience, in fact, that my videos help put them to sleep, which I try to take as a compliment. But no, literally, I've made those types of videos in the past, and the reason I made them is because I knew people would use them with that intention. They'd keep them on the background while they were cleaning or trying to sleep. Of course, another type of content that you can do from your live streams is vertical short-form content. You can take the best moments, things like that. You've probably heard this advice before, and you can upload those to all the platforms. Literally, if you like Instagram Reels, if you like TikTok, have a channel on each of those platforms and get your shorts out there as much as possible. Speaking of platforms and live streaming, I know someone in the comments is probably going to ask, YouTube is my preferred platform when it comes to live streaming, but you could also do dual streaming or things like that. What I like about YouTube the most is that when you're done streaming, the content will live on your channel forever without being deleted, so your viewers can go back and watch it after it's done being live. And you'd be surprised at how many people actually do this. If you put a good title and thumbnail on that stream as well, in some cases, a stream could actually bring in new viewers who don't care that it's not live. It's just something they really want to see, and they'll watch it. That's not guaranteed, and you should definitely not make only live stream VODs the thing you do to grow a channel on YouTube. I don't think that's going to work, but it is kind of cool, and I have seen it happen where one live stream VOD can get exceptionally popular. So just something to keep in mind. If you do want to focus your streams more on Twitch and have YouTube as the place where you do long form content, that's a totally valid strategy. But remember, Twitch has no discovery algorithm to this day. So you still need to take clips or videos or something to drive traffic to your Twitch channel. So that's live streaming, but what if you hate live streaming? Well, let's talk about the innovations I mentioned earlier when it comes to just Let's Play content on YouTube itself. These days, the most successful channels that are doing this style of content where they play a game and add their commentary are doing way more production in the background than you might realize. So if I was starting a channel like this right now, this would be my approach. I want you to imagine for a second just how many people are actually watching YouTube on a television rather than a phone or a tablet. Now stop imagining it and here's some data. For the last few years, we've been seeing articles just like this one that talk about how YouTube is dominating when it comes to TV viewership. So as a creator, and not even just a gaming creator, you really need to keep in mind that a lot of people, more people than ever, are watching YouTube on TV. And I'm not giving you this advice because I think your videos should be upscaled to 1440p. I want you to think about the mindset of somebody who's about to sit down in front of a TV and watch some YouTube. When I'm about to sit down in front of a TV, there's a lot of factors going on here. Number one is that I'm not about to just scroll endlessly to try and find something to watch. I want to find one nice, well-done video, and I want to sit down and just watch it for a while. Maybe you sit down in front of the TV to relax like I do, or maybe you keep it on in the background while you do other things like clean your house. Regardless, a lot of people are probably like I am. They watch TV for a specific reason, and they don't want to pick up the remote every couple of minutes and try and find another video. And let's talk about the quality expectation for a second, because when I sit down to watch a show, I'm about to give somebody 30 to 60 minutes of my time. My expectations are that the work they put into that video respects the time I'm about to give them. What this means for Let's Plays is that if you're doing this type of content, you really need to be thinking about storytelling elements that you can add to your videos. And as a viewer, I want to know exactly what it is I'm about to watch. Your video should explain itself in the title and thumbnail. Are you taking on a challenge that people have attempted in the past, like a Pokemon Nuzlocke or a 100 Days in Minecraft video? Or perhaps you've invented a new way to play an older game. If you look at the videos that are on screen right now, just the titles and thumbnails alone begin to tell a story. Yes, these creators are just playing games, but they're also playing them with an intended purpose. All right, so the next type of channel category I want to discuss today, I'm going to call reviews, news, updates, and guides, which I know is very, very long, but there's a reason I'm lumping these all into one giant category. Essentially, channels that do one of those things end up doing kind of more than one of those things. If you're reviewing games, then in a way, that's kind of news unto itself. And a lot of review channels also give news updates on things that are interesting to their audience. If you're doing guides and an update comes out for the game, you got to update your guides. Now you're doing an update video about the guide you made before. You know where I'm going with this. Now, in the past, when I've talked about making a gaming channel of any type, I've advocated for niching down. And the way I advocated for niching down was to, at least at the start of your YouTube journey, pick one game and make that game your niche. Today, though, I would like to tell you a story about somebody who did just that. And in hindsight, it probably wasn't the best move, at least not in the long term. And it's the type of thing that makes me want to correct some of that advice, because while playing one game is a thing that can work, it's not the type of thing that I would really advise anymore. So there's this YouTuber I know, and I'm not going to call him out by name because I think he might actually watch these. But when he started his channel, he made his niche about one specific game. And his goal was to become the authority when anything newsworthy would happen. Essentially, if the game got an update, he would be the first one to cover it. He also did a lot of guides when the game was new too. Now, this strategy worked out flawlessly. He gained hundreds of thousands of subscribers, indeed becoming the go-to source of information for this game. But then one day, the thinkable happened, and the game stopped getting updates, which meant that the audience for the content, aka the players of that game, began to kind of go away. As you can imagine, our protagonist YouTuber was in a bit of a rut because updates to the game were one of his main content buckets. And as for guides, by this point in the game's lifespan, he had kind of covered all there was to cover in a guide. If you're currently in this situation, or you one day find yourself careening towards a situation like this, here's my take. If your plan is to become the authority on one video game, and that video game is not called Minecraft, Fortnite, or Roblox, then one of two things is likely to happen. One, you are probably going to get tired of that game. Or worse, two, your audience is probably going to get tired of that game at some point. Now, that doesn't mean you can't take one game and make it the foundation of your channel, but I would not rest on that foundation forever. Because if you're going to do that, then you need to consider that that one game is just phase one of a multi-part plan. Phase one in this case would be to become an authority on that one game, be a pillar of that game's community, right? But it's what makes you an authority. It's what makes you the pillar of that community that opens the door for phase two. Because phase two is to take that skill and use it towards another game. The YouTuber I've been talking about is still kind of in phase one. He's dabbled with phase two a little bit, but he never fully committed. Phase two for him could look like a lot of stuff. It could be to take that one game and find games that are similar to it and hopefully have some good audience overlap. Or it could be to just play games that exist on the same platform as the first game that he was playing. The point is, he's always been really good at what he does. He covers news updates before anybody else. He does really nice, thoughtful guides on games, and he can simply do that for something else. But I'm not just imagining all this. Let's look at an example. We're going to look at a channel that's been the authority in multiple gaming communities for a very long time. If you play any Nintendo games, you've probably heard of him. He goes by Austin John Plays, and he actually took the time to sit down with me and answer a bunch of questions.
I always say there's 3 important things you need to know to make a successful YouTube channel. You need to be the first to do something, you need to be the best at it, or you need to be the fastest. Optimally, you want to be 2 of the 3, but it's impossible to be all 3.
What you feel like your niche is, and when is it okay to go outside of Pokemon and Zelda? Do you keep everything in the house of Nintendo, or do you ever consider covering PC games or anything like that?
I am a PC gamer. I have an extensive Steam library. I have a lot of games that I have a few thousand hours on. But as far as the channel overall, you have to be in the core concept of, why did this person choose to hit the subscribe button? They chose to hit the subscribe button because they saw 3 of my videos about a Pokemon game that they were playing, and they wanted to get more information as it came out. They want to be educated on this specific topic. And then if I switch to cooking videos, they're going to be like, what the hell is this? If I'm going to do multiple videos on something, right now it's just whatever current Pokemon game is out, whatever current Zelda game is out, and about the Nintendo Switch hardware that is currently out. I have done many times, like the Dinkum video, one-offs. And sometimes the one-offs are a neat little thing, and sometimes it's just I wanted to show what I'm playing, what I'm enjoying. I did a 100% walkthrough of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, one of my top 5 games of all time. Over that, I think 19 videos or something, I lost, 20,000 subscribers.
Now I want to talk about what I think is the fastest growing gaming niche on YouTube. We're watching these creators change what it means to be a gaming channel in real time. And these types of channels answer a very, very common problem that gaming channels have. Because you see, when channels start to get a bit of success, they come to us with one very particular question. People only seem to watch my content for the game. how do I get them to watch my content for me? So what I'm about to go over, I'm going to simply describe as gaming-related channels. They all look a bit different, but the one thing they have in common is these channels aren't just playing games and that's their content. They talk about the games that they play, and they do so in all sorts of ways. By far, these channels, when done right, grow faster than anything else we've talked about today. That's because these channels are unique, and they're unique in that they are entirely personality driven. Well, in the past, examples I've used include Any Austin, Idle, Juniper Dev, but honestly what makes this type of gaming content exciting, in my opinion, is that any channel covering gaming news, let's plays, or things like that could absolutely try this style of content out on their channels and just experiment with it. Idle is still my favorite example of this, a creator who did some fun, creative MMO gameplay content, only to one day pivot into video essays about MMOs, and to great success. If you're still not convinced that this is the best type of gaming channel that you can run on the internet, think of it this way. Imagine that you found a really small indie game. It's very obscure, but you absolutely love it, to the point where you're like, yes, this is the game that I want to show to my audience. But there's just one problem. That tiny little unknown game has about 10 Steam reviews, and basically nobody's ever heard of it. So what happens when you make that gameplay video about it anyway? Well, nobody's heard of it, so nobody's searching for it. And if nobody's searching for it, then it's not showing up in search. Maybe YouTube tries it on the home feed for some folks, but if they look at it and they don't really know what it is, their likelihood of clicking is very, very low. So instead, what if you made a game titled, "This random game cured my insert problem here"? Like, "This unknown game cured my doom scrolling habit." Then that thumbnail could just be a sad looking picture of you, or maybe you're holding your phone and you're sitting next to none other than the 10 Steam reviews on this still unknown game. Suddenly, you're about to record a video that actually has a story to tell. Maybe one day you looked at your phone's usage metrics to see that you spend 8 hours a day on TikTok, and so you decided you finally wanted to address that problem. So you went on Steam and you found that a game was on sale, one you just never heard of before, and you watched the trailer, it looked kind of cool, and you decided to buy it. And then what you get to do is you take your experience actually playing the game and you tell your audience about it, but you tell them about how it made you feel. You tell them about when you got the urge to pick up your phone again. Instead, you picked up your Steam Deck and you started playing this new obscure game. You get to take all the footage that you capture of this game and use it as B-roll throughout this video essay that you're gonna write. You post this video, and suddenly as a brand new viewer to your channel who's never heard of this random little game you found, I don't see a video on YouTube about some random game. I see a video about somebody who fell into a very common problem and found a way out of it and wanted to tell their story. And it just so happened that the way out of it was this cool little game. Videos like this exist all over YouTube, and they're very popular because everybody has a story, but everyone has their own unique way of approaching problems. And when that includes video games, you're not making a gaming video necessarily, you're making a you video. It just happens to coincide with one of your favorite hobbies. As you can tell, I'm really trying to sell you on this type of content because the last time I talked about it, I mentioned, I think it was Any Austin, and there were so many comments telling me, well, that's not a real gaming channel, which is utter nonsense. A gaming channel is whatever you say it is. And that is why YouTube is so freaking hard, because when it comes to the type of content you produce, there are no rules. I want to show you one last example, and I'm tacking this on at the end because one, it didn't really fit anywhere else in the script, and two, I saw it only today, but I think it is the most important thing I will tell you today. I think it is the perfect encapsulation of what it is to be on YouTube right now. If you see this, the YouTube algorithm is as you can see, the thumbnail is just a no-effort still image from an FPS game. The title even contains an uncensored swear word, and the video itself is riddled with swearing. I think the F word was like the 5th word said in the video. So we're not going to watch it here, obviously, but the subject of the video itself when I watched it was a YouTube creator who was frustrated with all the recent updates YouTube has done. They've selected a whole bunch of your old favorites, and they've just kind of made this 10-minute video venting about the state of YouTube right now. If you look at the channel, it's called Fart Sniffer, by the way, which is amazing. He only started a couple weeks ago, and at the time of recording this video, he's seen a lot of success. His latest video is absolutely exploding, and by the time you see this video, it's been long enough to where that video probably has a lot more views than you're seeing right now, or YouTube has just pulled it down completely. Now, why am I showing you this? Well, as Fart Sniffer himself points out, this video has no real thumbnail, it has no description, it has no tags, and if you look at the pinned comment, he's actually pretty surprised at the success it's seeing. All this video is him sharing his honest feelings. Feelings that a lot of people watching YouTube have right now. In my opinion, the reason this specific video is taking off the way it is right now is because of the idea. And it's a good idea. Think about this thumbnail in the context of what the title is actually saying. If I, someone who does not watch videos about first-person shooter games, is seeing this video on my feed, then the YouTube algorithm is yes, I'm clicking on this video. It's strange that it's in my recommended feed and I want to know more. The most important thing that will keep people going to your channel and staying and connecting with them is your personality. The video I just showed you is on a brand new YouTube channel that started a couple weeks ago, but the creator's main channel is over 12 years old and has under 3,000 subscribers. He started this new channel, and from my perspective, it seems like he just wanted a place to vent. Despite, in my opinion, not having the best thumbnails, he has video ideas that are resonating with people. I know when someone gives you the advice of just be yourself, it comes off really cliche and unhelpful, but if just being yourself was good enough for a channel that voluntarily named themselves Fart Sniffer, I think it's good enough for you. This year, focus on your video ideas and just be true to yourself and stop trying to growth hack success. Make something that you're proud of. Be something to someone. Austin John, for me, is somebody I go to when I pick up a new Pokemon game. This year, I want you to be the go-to YouTuber for somebody else. And if you are starting out in 2026, here's another video. We're doing a whole bunch of these right now about starting in the new year. So here you go. Also, huge shout out. Thank you to Austin John for jumping in and giving some advice as well. If you have a YouTuber you'd like me to talk to for the next one of these I do in 2027, leave them in the comments. Maybe I'll reach out to him. Have a good year.